Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to the webinar today entitled Understanding the Local Government Pension Scheme. And today I'm looking forward to being able to provide you with an overview on how your main local government pension scheme works and how you can increase your benefits in retirement. My name is Barry Richards. I'm one of the retirement education specialists here at AVC Wise. A bit about my background is I work directly for the Prudential, specialising in all things AVCs. Now, a few things to cover off before we start. The content of the webinar is provided for educational purposes, does not constitute financial advice. Information given is based on our current understanding of taxation, legislation, and regulations. Any levels and bases of and release from taxation are subject to change. Tax treatments based on individual circumstances may be subject to change in the future. Fund values can fall as well as rise. Past performance shouldn't be used as a guide to future performance. Okay, so what are we looking at this afternoon then? So today we're going to cover an overview of the local government pension scheme and the benefits associated by simply being a member. So more specifically, we're going to have a look at the key benefits you have being in that local government pension scheme, how the three sections of that local government scheme differ for calculation purposes, how you can increase your retirement benefits, when it is that you can actually retire, and any next steps to take. So let's first of all then take a look at your local government pension scheme and the key benefits that it provides for you. Now, I'll start by saying that local government pension scheme is one of the best pension schemes in the UK, and it's got some really significant benefits for you. Now, firstly, it gives you security. So, your local government pension scheme is what's called a defined benefit pension. So, you can be secure in the knowledge that based on the years of service and the salary amounts that you've been paid over that period, you're then going to get a guaranteed income that's going to be paid every month for the rest of your life. Now, importantly, your pension is index linked, which means it increases with inflation each year. And this really is one of the best features of your local government pension. So your pension increases by CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and that'll simply protect that buying power of your yearly pension income. You also get tax relief on your contributions automatically at source, which means it's a really tax efficient way of saving money, and you generally don't need to worry about claiming tax relief back. You've also got a death in service tax free lump sum, which is three times your salary, and it's paid out when you die and goes to your nominated beneficiaries, subject to pension fund approval. Now, also in your retirement, if you were to die, that pension doesn't die with you, as there's a survivor's pension, where up to 50% of your pension would then be payable to your spouse, civil or cohabiting partner, or eligible child in certain conditions. And remember, it's not just you that's contributing to your main scheme pension, your employer pays into it too. And this tends to be around 18 to 20% of salary. So your employer is generally paying around double the amount that you're contributing. You've also got the possibility of taking what's referred to as flexible retirement, where you could draw on some or all of your pension and then be in receipt of this while then going back to work on reduced hours. Now, please note this isn't a contractual right and it would always be down to your employer's discretion. If you were to come into financial hardship where you were maybe struggling to make ends meet and perhaps couldn't afford those main scheme pension contributions, you do have the opportunity to go into what's called the 50-50 section. And this is where you'd contribute half of your normal contributions and then build up half of your normal pension while still retaining full life and ill health cover. Now, you do also have ill health protection, and this can be paid from any age if you can't work due to ill health without reductions. Now, to qualify for this benefit, you will require at least 2 years' service, and that's subject to medical certification. Now, for anyone here this afternoon that was lucky enough to have joined the scheme before 2008, well, you'd have also been building up an automatic tax free lump sum for when you retire. And we'll go into a bit more detail on that shortly. So that's just a bit of an overview of the main benefits that your local government pension scheme provides you. Now, some of you might be aware that local government pension scheme has changed a number of times over the years. So we're going to have a look at what these changes were and how the sections of the scheme differ for calculation purposes. Now, all of you here today, and it doesn't matter when you joined, are now going to be part of what's called the Career Average Revalued Earnings section, also known as the CARE section. And this has been in place since the 1st of April 2014. Now, for every year you're in this section, you bank 1/49th of whatever your annual salary has been within that year. So, for example, if your salary was £49,000 and you were working full time over a full year, you would have banked £1,000 of pension income per year for the rest of your life in retirement. So, as the years go by, you build up so many 49ths within the section. And the great news is that it's revalued by that CPI each year. which means you're securing the knowledge that each 49th of your salary that you're banking each year is going to be going up in line with that consumer price index and protecting that buying power of your annual pension income. Then when you retire and take your benefits, all of those 49ths that you've banked are going to be added together, and this will then form your annual pension in retirement. Now, one important thing to note with this section is that your normal retirement age is going to be the higher of age 65 or your state pension age. Now, many of you here today might have service built up before the 1st of April 2014. So if you were in the scheme between the 1st of April 2008 to the 31st of March 2014, you're also going to have membership of one of the former final salary sections of local government. This particular one was known as the final salary 60th section. Now, this section ran for 6 years. So if you've been working full time in this period and were a member for the full 6 years it was in operation, you would have built up 6/60ths of your final salary. Now, the good news for you is that your final salary isn't determined by when that section finished back in 2014. They'll use that final salary that you're on just before you retire to calculate your benefits in that final salary section. Excuse me. Now, as a number of you might also have service before the 1st of April 2008. And anyone that does would also have been a member of what was called the final salary 80th section. So if you work 1 year full time, you would get 1/80th of your final salary, working on the same principle as that 60th section. And it's linked to the salary you end up finishing on and not tied to when the section ended. Now, with this section, you won't get in quite as good a deal as the 60th section when it comes to an annual pension, as 1/80th is a smaller slice of the pie when compared to 1/60th. However, with this section, as we alluded to earlier, you'd also build up an automatic tax-free lump sum in addition to your annual pension. So the best of both worlds with this one is you get that guaranteed income as well as this automatic tax-free lump sum. Now, many of you here today may not have any membership in that old 80th section, and therefore your automatic entitlement to tax-free cash will be zero, as the sections that followed have all been focused on just building up this annual pension amount for retirement. So that's the three sections of the local government pension scheme. And this is why when you get your annual benefit statement, it can be a bit confusing, especially if you've been a member of all three sections. But towards the back or the bottom of that statement, it'll show all those sections added together, and this will tell you what your total pension amount will be for when you retire. So the next question we're often asked is, when exactly are you allowed to retire? Now, you're able to access your pension as long as you're over the minimum retirement age, which is currently age 55. The latest you could choose to access your pension is age 75. So as long as you're between the ages of 55 and 75, you can currently access your local government pension. Now, do bear in mind, if you choose to access that local government pension before your normal pension age, reductions will typically apply. And it means that your pension will be less than what you perhaps thought it would be. This is down to two reasons. Now, the first is you will have less years in the scheme if you retire early. As I mentioned in this care section, you're banking 1/49th of your salary as you go along. So if you were to leave work early, you're missing out on the membership you would have been building up within that scheme. Secondly, because the local government pension scheme will apply what's called an actuarial reduction to your annual pension amount. As the pension fund knows, if you retire early, they need to pay out that annual pension income for longer than they initially expected to, due to retiring earlier than that normal pension age. Now, there can be some instances where that actuarial reduction may not apply. So if you were made redundant after the age of 55, the pension fund would not apply an actuarial reduction. And this would also be the case if you were to lose your job due to business efficiency reasons. But the vast majority of the time, if you do access your pension before your normal pension age, that actuarial reduction will apply. So the biggest consideration you'll normally have when deciding to retire early is deciding if you can afford to see that drop in annual pension income due to having less years of membership in the scheme, and also factoring in any actuarial reduction as well. And just to illustrate the potential impact of retiring early, we're going to have a look at somebody called Sarah here to see what happened to her pension when she decided to retire 3 years early at the age of 64 instead of 67. So here we've got Sarah then, and she decided she didn't want to work until her normal retirement age of 67 and decided to go at age 64 instead, as she'd like to go a bit earlier to allow her to enjoy the things in life that are important to her, such as spending more time with her family and being able to go on some holidays. Now, you think that going just 3 years early wouldn't have too much of an impact on Sarah's annual pension, which was due to be £14,920 a year. Because when you think about it, going 3 years early, it's only 36 paydays early. Well, in actual fact, by Sarah retiring just 3 years early and accessing a local government pension at 64, it wipes over £4,000 off her annual pension, which is a massive hit for her to take. So, again, let's look at why she has such a big hit on that pension. Well, first of all, the number of years of membership in the pension scheme is reduced, so she's missing out on 3/49 of her annual pension by going 3 years early. Excuse me. Secondly, is because the local government pension scheme are now going to apply that actuarial reduction, as they know they now need to pay Sarah that pension for 3 years longer than they would have needed to had she retired at 67. So that double whammy of Sarah reducing the years of membership in the scheme and the actuarial reduction applied is what causes such a significant impact to Sarah's pension. Remember, it's not just 1 year that she has to deal with this £4,000 reduction. This is going to be every year for the rest of her retirement. So if she's going to have a long and fruitful retirement, that could add up to quite a large amount of money there. So there could be good reasons as to why she does want to retire at 64, but she'd need to think long and hard as to why she wants to retire early, as £10,843 a year is a lot less than that £14,920 she would have been entitled to if she didn't retire early. And remember, with that annual income of just under 11,000, Sarah's not going to be in receipt of a state pension for another 3 years. So that would be her only source of income, £10,843. So just think not only if you could survive on that income, but how comfortably would you enjoy your retirement with that level of income? Some of you here today might be thinking you would like to retire early, but how do you feel about that having such a significant impact on your pension? How important is it for you to be able to retire early? And if it is that important, are you prepared to do some additional saving to make it a reality? So, what are your options then to boosting your retirement benefits? Now, there are a couple of options you've got within the local government that allows you to save more money for retirement. The first one is called additional pension contributions, or APCs for short. This works on the basis that you're buying extra guaranteed annual pension income in retirement. So you tell the local government pension scheme up front how much extra yearly pension income you'd like to buy, with a maximum amount being just over £7,000 a year. Now, as the APCs are a pension, you're still going to get tax relief on your contributions and you're buying guaranteed index linked income. However, this extra income that you purchase will die with you. So, unlike your normal main scheme pension, where your nominated beneficiary can get up to 50% of that pension that you're enjoying until they pass, this doesn't happen with APCs. Secondly, unlike your main scheme, there's no employer contribution into APCs. And another factor to consider is any pension income that you receive is classed as income and therefore potentially taxable. Lastly, the APC arrangement as well really isn't that flexible, as you have to enter into a contract with APCs that's non-negotiable, and they can be pretty expensive for what they offer. So the uptake does tend to be quite low. You'll find typically, on average, you're going to need to be around 15 years into retirement just to break even on what you've had to pay for them. So APCs can provide you with extra pension income in retirement, albeit at quite a high cost. But what about tax-free cash? Well, whatever pension scheme you belong to now in the UK, you're allowed to take up to 25% of the benefits out as a tax-free lump sum. So when you get to retirement, you do have the option. You could decide to exchange some of your yearly pension income to take more tax-free cash, which might sound like a good idea, but what would actually happen to your local government pension if you did decide to take tax-free cash from it? So you'd have your local government pension amount at retirement, whatever that is in your case, and you could decide to give up £1 of your annual pension income in exchange for £12 of tax-free cash, which on the face of it might sound like a good deal, but in reality that would be a whole £1,000 of guaranteed pension income per year that you're losing for every £12,000 of tax-free cash that you take. Now, if you think about average life expectancy and how long we might be around in retirement, it might not work out to be such a good deal. So what if there then was a way that you could build up a nice tax-free cash pot of money for retirement that didn't have any impact to your valuable local government pension income? And this is where you can use this employee benefit called a local government shared cost AVC to be really tax efficient, really make your money work for you, and do so without damaging your local government or your state pension. So what's different and unique about the AVC arrangement that your employer is able to offer you is any savings that you make will not only benefit from tax relief, but when you contribute to an AVC on a shared cost basis, you're also making savings on national insurance contributions too. So you're actually getting a double tax break every month as you pay into your AVC. Now, really importantly, you've got the potential to take your whole AVC pot all back in one go as a tax-free lump sum. And you do so by taking it at the same time as your main scheme pension, whatever age that's going to be. And there are upper limits to this, always based on the value of your pension. And this is a huge deal for you, as you are the only people in a position that can get this big double tax break, putting your money in, and then potentially the full amount tax free at the point of retirement. Members of the teachers' pension scheme, the NHS scheme, they're always limited in being allowed 25% of their AVC back as tax free cash. You're in this really unique position where you can potentially take all of your AVC back as a tax free lump sum, which ultimately makes this a really tax efficient savings vehicle for a lot of people. You've also got complete flexibility in what you pay into your AVC, so you're not locked into a certain amount that you continually pay. You can increase or decrease as often as you like, literally month by month if you need to, with that minimum contribution being just £2 per month. So let's have a look at what it would cost you from your salary to pay an amount into a shared cost AVC. So if you put £250 onto your application form, that would only cost you £175 and 10 pence from your take-home pay. So there's almost a £75 saving there instantly in tax and national insurance every single month, which is an incredible amount of money to be saving thanks to that double tax break. So again, if we just look at those numbers on the screen, to be very clear, the day that you hand over £175, it's going to instantly turn into £250. And every month that you're employed, this is going to keep on happening for you. And then when you access this pot of money, along with your main scheme pension, whatever age that's going to be, you can potentially get it all back again as a tax-free lump sum. So it really is a fantastic vehicle to make some really substantial savings towards retirement. So you get the proactive people that are already doing this or get this set up. They're going to reach that desired retirement age and then have this extra pot of money to help offset these big reductions that come by retiring early. You'll then sometimes get the people that put this off, don't take any action. They're going to reach that desired retirement age and simply may not have the option or ability to retire earlier and may have no choice but to continue working well into later life. Now, some people are actually happy to work right up to their state pension age and get that full local government pension. But you could argue you should still be taking advantage, as if you can get these huge tax savings every month and then get it all back tax free again at the end, why wouldn't you want to take advantage of the scheme? And for those of you currently putting money into a savings account or an ISA or whatever it may be, if you just have a think on what your current returns on that will look like. I appreciate with the AVC, it is a pension arrangement, so you wouldn't be able to access that money until you're over the minimum retirement age, which is currently 55. But with the AVC, as a basic rate taxpayer, you're getting an initial uplift of 42.77% instantly because of those tax and national insurance savings you get as that contribution goes into your AVC. So you're looking at over 42% instantly every month. So we often say, try and think of any kind of setup where the day that you hand over £175, it instantly turns into £250. So you can imagine how quickly you can build these savings up, even over what can sometimes be short periods of time. And for anybody in the audience today who's a higher rate taxpayer, that proportion of your salary being hit with 40% tax, well, you're then going to get higher rate tax relief. So the uplift for you would be over 70% on that proportion of your salary there. So for anyone here this afternoon that's not currently taking advantage of the scheme, it's very straightforward to get that up and running. You just head to our website, log into your account, and on the home page, hit the new application button. You then need to enter your details and select the fund or funds that you want to invest in. And within that application, you'll have the opportunity to download the fund guide. This will give you details about all your available fund choices, where you read through this and come to a decision as to where you'd like to invest your AVC contributions. Now, you'll often see there as well, you might have a default fund that your scheme has already chosen for you. And if that is the case, you'll see the box asking for your fund choice will already be filled in for you with your default fund if you have one. Remember, you can change that fund choice at any time as well. Once you submit the application, it goes straight for your payroll to them to do their checks on. And on the basis that it's accepted by your employer, your AVC will then be set up with your AVC provider, which for the majority of you would be the Prudential or Standard Life. It could be Legal and General or Clerical Medical. Your contributions will then take effect from your next available pay run. For anybody already paying into an AVC, if ever you need to amend the amount, again, very straightforward. You head to our website, click on Manage My Shared Cost AVC, simply enter the new amount you wish to pay. Excuse me. Yeah, you do also have the opportunity of booking a one-to-one meeting with us, and that might be with myself or one of my colleagues here at AVC Wise. These meetings last up to 20 minutes, take place on Microsoft Teams, where we can really give you a helping hand to set up your shared cost AVC, or if you need to possibly make any changes to what you're doing. If you are ready to apply now, a bit of homework we'd ask in advance of those meetings is if you could get a local government projection to your desired retirement age, an up-to-date valuation of your AVC pot if you have AVCs in place, and also an up-to-date payslip. As you can see at the bottom of that slide, we can't provide any financial advice or investment advice at the meetings, but those meetings are completely free to you. We can give you that factual information and guidance, which can be a really great tool. So we'd always say to take full advantage of those meetings when you can do. So in terms of getting in touch with us for anything that you may need, if you did need an individual meeting, you just contact us. You'll see our email address at the top there, support@avcwise.co.uk. We can get you booked in for a meeting. We have a live chat facility on our website if you just need a quick answer to a quick question, or you can always just pick up the phone and give us a call. Now, on our Knowledge Hub, we've got some really useful information on there. So we've got all the kind of bite-sized videos containing all the key benefits of the AVC. You'll also see we've got a projection calculator. So depending on your own earnings and what's an affordable amount for you to pay, you can play around on that projection calculator with any figures you were maybe thinking of paying in. And it's going to highlight to you just what you'll save through those tax savings by taking advantage of the scheme. You'll also see within your AVC Wise account, there's an FAQ document there where we've put together all of the questions we'd ever been asked about the AVC into a handy document for you, and that's specific to your employer as well there. And if you're looking for more information about your main local government pension scheme, you can just head to that lgpsmember.org website. The key message really this afternoon is, although that local government pension scheme is no doubt a fantastic arrangement to be in, you do need to ask yourself, is it going to be enough to achieve the goals that you have for retirement? So is working to state pension age something that you're happy to do? If you would like to retire earlier, are you going to have enough money to bridge the gap and mitigate the costly actuarial reductions that can be applied to your pension? The Shared Cost AVC allows you to save additional money for retirement in this really tax efficient way. And then you've got this unique opportunity that's only available to local government members, where you can then potentially take that whole pot of money that you built up all back again as a tax-free lump sum. So we've had a look at a couple of examples and figures today. I'd say whatever it is you can afford to do, make sure you do something to take advantage of those huge savings. So now more than ever, it's vital to make your money work as hard as possible for you. And the sooner that you take action and start to plan for your retirement, the easier it's going to be to reach those retirement goals. So I hope this afternoon has helped to highlight what a great opportunity you have here. And you do go on to reach those goals now you've seen just how achievable it can be. So finally, many thanks for your attendance again this afternoon, everyone, and have a great remainder of the day. Thanks a lot. Bye now.